This is what happens if you don't tie a good knot.
We're testing the San Diego jam knot versus the chain knot, and not all knots are created equal.
Let's go break something.
This is what I'm thinking. Basically, we've got this ratchet strap, we've got the scale. We connect one end to the other and pull the knot, see if the knot breaks, see if the line breaks.
See what the poundage is.
A lot of these knots we've used before, but not all of them. So I think it's best that we go online and see, okay, what's the most liked chain knot? What's the most liked San Diego jam knot, and use that.
What we're looking for in these knots are easy to tie. You know, you need something to be able to tie quick in a pinch on a boat. You also need to be able to trust it and rely on it. So we also want the strength of the knot. And then the other factor is application. Chain knot has been used a lot more for regular everyday fishing. I specifically added the chain knot in my arsenal when we were going to San Diego for bluefin tuna, but I've never used a chain knot here for my Florida fishing. So application, strength, and ease of tying. Those are the three things we're looking for in these terminal connection knots. Now, it has been said by many that the chain knot is 100% terminal connection, which is pretty cool to hear. And for all intents and purposes, there's a lot of truth to that. There's also modifications to this knot. I first stumbled upon it about 5 years ago, prepping for our first bluefin jig trip out in San Diego. Pre-trip jitters. What are the best knots that I can tie to go up against 100-pound plus bluefin on my light, jigging gear, or on the jigging gear that I was selecting to bring? That is what brought me to a TN chain knot video that I found on Bill Falconer's YouTube page, Falconer Custom Rods. That's a modification to the normal chain knot, which I tied here. I watched that video probably 20 times, practiced it just as many, and went out to San Diego, used the chain knot exclusively against the bluefin. What I found about that knot is its ease of tying is definitely challenging. You need a firm anchor point for your ring or swivel or hook, and then you need a firm anchor point for your fluorocarbon. You need tension, and that's hard to get just with what's in front of you. Strength wise, it was incredible. I caught all the fish that I connected to, and it did a perfect job. This tool is something that JigWorks came out with to help with the ease of use in tying a chain knot. This allows you to anchor both your fluoro and where you're tying to, and then be able to do it right there in front of you. Once you break down a chain knot, it's got a 2 or 3 wrap anchor point, and then it's a bunch of half hitches. That's like all it is. So anyone can really tie it. Ease of use, a little challenging. Once you figure that out, tying it is a cinch. Having these half hitches, what it does is it allows these half hitches to stretch and put max tension on the wrapping points around your swivel or ring. So it's kind of a genius physics design on how this works. So we're gonna put this up against the test, because the point of this video is not how to tie the knot per se. It's how strong the knot is up against some other choice knots that people like to tie for terminal connections. So let's put it to the test. If you do want to see how this knot's tied, we actually did a how-to by Chad himself in our previous video, which was the Figured It Out Charters Belmonte trip. There's a complete chain knot how to tie tutorial in our previous video.
0? You got 0?
Scale reads zeros.
All right, dude. Let's wrap around the hook, and I'm just gonna hold on to this line. Actually, it seems to be the best way to do it. So keep a little tension there.
Don't overlap me now. Don't overlap me.
Only one overlap, and that's at the end of it. So now I'm getting tension.
5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds.
You could see that chain knot stretching as I do this, right?
Yep, that's what it's supposed to do. 30 pounds.
Ooh, it broke at the knot, dude. So 30 pounds at the knot.
Yep.
Which is weaker than the fluoro.
I gotta tie that knot again.
Let's do the San Diego jam knot single. And wait, I know you guys are like, no, the double. We're gonna get to the double. Stick with me, guys. All right, so here's the single wrap San Diego jam knot. Definitely an easy knot to tie with like thinner line. I can tell you that I did struggle just a bit with the fluorocarbon. I know that guys that tie it all the time will probably be very quick with it and not have any issues with doing this quickly with thicker fluorocarbon. I know they do it in California with a double and using 100-pound, 120-pound, even 200-pound fluorocarbon. So, but for me, it wasn't super easy to tie. However, we're gonna give this a break test and see what happens.
5 pounds, 10 pounds.
What did the last one break at?
30. 15 pounds.
Oh boy.
20 pounds.
Get on that knot. Get on that knot.
25 pounds. 25. There's 30.
Ooh.
30. I saw 31.6.
31.6.
Yeah.
And what was the last one at?
Chain knot was 30.
Those were pretty close, a pound off, but they both broke at the connection. Neither of them made it to the breaking capacity of the line. So I think we tie it again. Let's do your chain knot again.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give it a shot on the double San Diego jam knot, and then we're gonna do a pull test. You're on one end, I'm on the other. Your chain knot all the way, and the true champion shall prevail.
When did I become a chain knot guy? I'm a, Florida uni boy over here. 2 wraps, 4 turns. Let's go.
All right.
Round 2.
Round 2, baby. All right, here we go. Chain knot, chain knot. Boom.
Approaching 5 pounds.
There's the phone.
10 pounds.
10 pounds.
Hold on, customer. 15 pounds. 20 pounds. 25 pounds. We're all over the place. 30 pounds. 34 pounds. 20. All right.
What are we at?
Click it and then stop for a second. Because I'm seeing 40 now. 39.6 pounds.
39.6?
Yep. Keep going.
Oh!
Wow, that was up there. I saw as high as 42.
But where did it break?
That was the knot.
It broke at the knot. So let's try the single jam knot again, and then we'll go ahead and move over to the variations of these.
Yeah. I paid a little more attention to nice tight half hitches on that one, and that one got 10 more pounds. Falconer's video says TN chain knot, 3 wraps on the bottom, do not overlap. That's a trick with that one, 100%. But that regular chain knot was we'll call it 40.
All right, guys. So we've got the single San Diego jam knot again. We're gonna give her the break test. I feel a little bit better about my tie on this knot. I felt like it just kind of sat a little cleaner. It seemed like it was a little easier to tie.
10 pounds.
10 pounds.
15 pounds. It jumps a lot with every click, so it's like do a little pause when you get a new tension. We're at 30. Oh, I saw 32. It like flicked to 32.
I mean, that's pretty.
30 pounds, same as last time.
What was the last chain knot at? Was that 40?
42. Call it 40.
Okay, let's try the next variation of this. So basically you just hook it onto the solid ring just like you would tie a solid ring onto assist hooks for the chain knot. And then the other side is the double wrap on the jam knot. So we're gonna double up the line and tie it that way. And let's see what the break test does. We're gonna pick between the two of these, and then it's time to go to battle. Oh,
all right, this is anchored with a cat's paw. Same 12 alternating half hitches on top for the chain knot. Instead of 2 wraps, it's a cat's paw. We're at 5 pounds. I feel good about the tie. 15 pounds. 20 pounds. Look at that chain knot stretching. 25 pounds. Here comes 30 pounds. Oh, I just saw 40. Ooh. Whoa.
at the knot.
I mean,
At the knot though.
Oh, wow.
So what was it?
Kind of got up to 40,
So that
42,
one-
44. So the cat's paw is actually still anchored onto the solid ring. Something must have choked the main line,
That's interesting.
right?
So that's almost as close to 100%.
Yeah.
Still broke at the
Yeah,
knot. So
broke
we
at the
can't
knot.
call it.
100%.
All right, let's go Let's go San Diego jam knot. Let's go double wrap.
The double jam knot. San Diego. I see a lot of guys using San Diego jam knots out there in San Diego. What do you know?
The double San Diego jam knot.
You need to have zero tear. A nice upward facing tag. We like that in jigging.
There's 3 tag ends.
Oh yeah, look
That's
at that
a
other
lot
one
of
over
tag
there.
ends going on. So
Approaching 5 pounds. And now we're at 10 pounds. And we're skipping right up to 15 pounds. Hello, 20. 25. Oh, now we're in the 30s. Back to 25. Oh! The screen did flash 36.
So the knot's still intact though.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Which tells me that probably when I was cinching this down, even though I did lubricate it, it burned the line.
Burn. Yep, cinch burn.
It burned the line.
Yep.
So we got to do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try it and do maybe a few less wraps this time. That way I'm not getting the burn on the line.
Yeah. When like uni knot, for example, I tie it a lot. And when you lubricate, right? And you spit on it. And when you're cinching your knot down and you feel it grip the fluoro main line and slide down with a little bit of friction, you run the risk of burning your main line. So that first 5 millimeters of line might have experienced a cinch and friction burn, which scores the line and decreases the strength of the fluorocarbon. So we probably experienced breakage there because of cinch burn. And if that happens when you're finishing a knot and you can sense it, and if you're unsure about it, it's best to just clip and retie, because now if you lose 10 pounds of brake strength, that's the difference between you and a fish of a lifetime.
Double San Diego jam knot.
5 pounds. 10 pounds. 15 pounds. Ooh, 20 pound. 25 pounds. Oh, I saw 31.
Was it a burn again?
You got your whole knot here. There's with 3 tags coming out of it.
It was a burn again.
It looks like a chicken leg. I mean, was it a burn though?
If you're going to be tying this knot over and over again, if I've done it twice and got a burn twice, what are the chances that you're doing it without the burn? I extra lubricated it. Everything laid perfectly down on it, but it still seemed like it burned.
Tell us more about how you're lubricating.
Ask your mom.
Very clean brake too.
I want to try and get it to where it breaks at the knot, right at the solid ring. But let's do the other chain knot one more time. Let's do this guy one more time, and then we'll go into the pulling.
Right now you're pulling with a single, not a double, right? If you had to choose one now.
Right now I'm going single. Yeah, I think I got to do less wraps on it, right? So instead of I was doing first one I did 6, way too many, and then this one I did 4. I'm gonna go down to 3, just because of the size fluorocarbon that we're using. I think it's gonna tie a little bit better. 25 pounds. 30 pounds. 35 pounds. Where's 40? 40 pounds. 40 pounds, baby. 43. 45. 46. Damn, that hurt.
Gotcha.
Like a whip into my finger.
That was 46.
Ow.
Look, it broke in the same exact way. The cat's paw is still intact around the solid ring, and we have a pigtail on the main line. So that broke exactly the same way as the other cat's paw. If I had a choice between double wrapping a chain knot or cat's pawing, cat's paw.
Do you guys see the sacrifices I make for the science of fishing? So on this one, I did not cinch it down until I got it super close to the solid ring. I lubricated it as much as possible, and then once everything was super tight, then I cinched it. So hopefully this one will be a different story.
Yeah. 15 pounds. 15. Coming up on 20. 25. I saw 33.
I'm going single wrap San Diego Jam. Can't get it to not break there. It doesn't seem like it's at 100% unless you want to give it a go. I mean, I say we move on to the tug test. Let's do it. All right, here we go. So it is the San Diego Jam knot single wrap, because I found that to be the strongest, versus the chain knot. And this is one time that I'm hoping I lose. Not for the sake that I want the San Diego chain knot to win. It's for the fact that whoever loses, this thing is gonna whip them. Winner
gets whipped. Tug of knot war commence.
Here we go.
A lefty here too.
Oh, and I have glasses on because I'm scared it's gonna hit me.
25 pounds. Oh! I won and it hurt! Ow! Right in the glove, thank goodness.
Broke right at the knot.
That's smarts right there. You weren't kidding. Ow! Even through the glove.
So I got a fun idea. So your chain knot already won. Let's see if I can tie like a double jam knot and then go back to the single, and then let's see how many times I can do this before we just run out of line. All right, so I just retied. That's it. So we're doing single jam knot versus Chris's same exact chain knot. And a lot of times when you stretch fluorocarbon and let it go back, it weakens it.
That's a single you just did?
Single again.
Repeat. Same chain knot as the first.
Here we go, baby. All right, you got to take a step back.
So can the chain knot take a second round? Wow, it can!
Holy cow. Okay.
Yes, it can.
That's what I was getting.
That one felt like less pressure than the first one.
Yeah, it popped. It definitely popped quicker, but the chain knot's still hanging in there because it
knot.
stretches, right? I want to do the double San Diego jam knot and just see if we can get this chain knot to break. But we got to get the chain knot to break. Here we go, baby. All right, we've got Chris's same exact chain knot. I've got the double wrapped San Diego jam knot. Here we go.
Round three.
Round three.
And John is just trying to draw blood here. That's all he's trying to do at this point.
I enjoy torturing Christopher Doyle.
Shoot.
Here we go, baby. Here we go.
Ah, gotcha. This thing doesn't want to give.
Burn again.
All right, so we're going to rate these knots on a scale 1 to 10. The first category was ease of tying. I'm still going to put the chain knot low. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10 just because you need the 2 anchor points and the tension. Half hitch is himself, piece of cake. But what changes, making it easy, was the chain knot tool, the JigWorks chain knot tool Chad designed. That bumps it all the way up to a 7.
So for me, the San Diego jam knot, super easy to tie. Once I got it, it was super fast. So I would definitely say 7 out of 10, ease of tying. And I would say as you got up into the bigger fluorocarbon, once again, it's going to be pretty easy to tie.
Strength, obviously the chain knot held up quite a bit better. Wasn't 100%, maybe a variation of the chain knot like the TN can do it, but I'm going to give the strength 8.5 out of 10, which is a pretty good score.
I feel like the San Diego jam knot let me down. If you're at an 8, I've got to go like 2 or 3 because I couldn't get it to not break higher than 40 pounds. And what was super confusing was that whenever you double wrapped it, it seemed like it was worse. And it seems like there's so much going on in this knot that it was burning easily and it just wasn't breaking at the strength that you would hope for it. So definitely going 3 out of 10.
Yeah, if you want to redeem the San Diego knot, put a comment below and share a better way to do it. The third category was accessibility, which means like where would you fish this knot? And although I would say with the scores of the chain knot, fish it everywhere and anywhere, my opinion on the matter is going to stick with focus on targeting big game with this knot, bluefin and yellowfin tuna, just for ease of tying and how quickly I can whip a uni or a modified clinch knot. All my Florida fishing, I'm going to stick with the simple knots.
I don't think you're tying this for a bass lure, right?
No, definitely not.
Like you're not
Definitely
tying
not.
it with braid.
Yeah.
Definitely, you're looking for a big grouper, big snapper, big tuna.
All the fishing we do here in a lot of places, I'll just stick with my simple, more compact too. You got to think this knot has an inch of just firmness to it too. And I always wonder how that affects the jig action.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just have a short, compact, strong knot I rely on like a uni to do all my grouper snapper fishing.
So for utility, what we use it for, I would say that the San Diego jam, even the double or the single, as you get into the thinner lines, it's so easy to tie that I think you could pretty much use that on anything. So I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10 for usability. So the guys are using it for big game in San Diego. So they're using heavy fluorocarbon. So the single wrap is working fine for them. So I would say as far as like range, you could pretty much use that knot on anything.
Two cool knots, two knots that we don't normally talk about a lot, and glad we got a chance to play with them.
So cool. Guys, thanks for following us, sticking around through this video and seeing what we found out. Any comments that you guys have, leave them down below. We'd love to do a part 2 of this. If you guys don't agree with what we're doing, whatever we could change up, we're happy to do it. Chris, that was freaking awesome, dude. Guys, jig on.
Have you ever heard of the Spangler knot? Probably the most fun knot I've learned over the past 5 years, and the easiest to tie. If you want to learn how to tie this was shown to me by Creaky Tiki on a bluefin trip. He has a YouTube channel called Fishing and Tackle Talk by Creaky Tiki. He shows you a very easy way to do this knot. And I've caught tons of bluefin on it, and I use it here in Florida, and that's all it does to come together. It's compact and small. It does require a little cinch, but I couldn't end this video without us doing a little pull on the scale with a Spangler. And like I said, I don't know if I should be this excited about a knot, but how could we not show what a Spangler can do? That's all it is. 2 wraps, 4 loops that get cinched down together, and a tag end that goes out a little bit lower than horizontal, which is great for not getting our assist hook cord hung up on. Let's break it. John, come here. And please go check out Creaky Tiki's YouTube channel, Fishing and Tackle Talk with Fishing and Tackle Tips with Creaky Tiki. Ooh, the Spangler, baby. My favorite knot I've learned in the last 5 years. Thank you, Creaky.
2.
2.
10, 15, 18.
See it bounce around.
Yeah. 23. 28. 25. Solid 25. Oh,
You know.
27. 27.
Thanks for spangling with me.